course you want to be a champion. Of course you want to be working towards winning titles.
Be happy, but never satisfied.
Better than ever.
Hello, Ultimate fans! Welcome back to Newton Athletic Park, where we are here to bring you the finals game versus Vancouver Red Flag and Toronto Union. I'd just like to start by acknowledging that we are here on the unceded territories of the Semiahmoo, Cleats, Kwantlen, Kwikot-Lum, Cleats, and Tsawwassen unceded territories. Thank you, everyone, and excited to tune in to this game. My name is Sahab Ansari, and I'm here alongside of Anna.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Hodgins, and I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which I live on the territory of Treaty 6 people, and we have Métis folks as well, and we are working towards reconciliation. I'm excited to be here, and we are seeing Red Flag again. So it's the Classic East and West competition. These teams haven't seen each other yet this year, and both coaches before the game were looking forward to seeing a highly competitive game to finish their tournament. The Union team has about 50% of them are new players to their roster, and they had some great success in Chicago. And to get here, played a game against pretty boys and handsome girls to secure their spot. Union is focusing on their mental game to make great choices and play great ultimate.
Yeah, and I'd like to just add here, Union has had some tough games on their road up to this position, whereas Red Flag has yet to see any sort of competition, really. I believe that Spawn and TT both tying the most scores against Red Flag, being at 8. And Union just coming off a Universe Point win versus PBHG as we get this game started. Etchison back around. We have Etchison, Campbell once again. Etchison now. Etchison opting to shoot deep. And that is just out of the hands of Union's number 19, Trisha McFarland. And we have a foul called. So a conversation now between McFarland and Connie Zhang, as the observer is going to chime in now, trying to figure out what's going on between these two players. What do you think about that foul, Anna? What did you see there?
I think I saw clear contact, and the wind was picking up the Frisbee. We have a crosswind from the player home side to the away side announcer table.
Yeah.
So the throws going on that side will definitely be picking up.
Yeah, and as we carry on here, we have McFarland here trying to find something in the end zone, shoots across field, and that is a laying Etchison for the grab.
That was just before the ground. What an incredible catch, and he kept it up with the observers being quite close. So Union starts with 1-0, and again, we kind of have a crosswind with the field, so we're not moving with upwind, downwind quite as much, but it is definitely less windy than yesterday.
Yeah, and I like to see what's going on here. I'm not sure if the camera is pointing to the red flag athletes right now, but they actually have a disc of their own, and they're kind of warming up their throws while on the field, as we have Coach Jonathan He talking over there for them, and we have the Union coach kind of bringing in something for the Union players here. I'd love to see what they do. We did notice during the PBHG game, they were bringing in this sort of zony look, making sure that the deep threats from PBHG were not able to really contest that space. But we do know that Flag loves to use their female matching players in the deep space. We do have the likes of Nika Kurahashi, one of the biggest deep threats in Canada, maybe even in this game of Ultimate. As we see, the pull for Union is just going to sail out, signified by Sam Creed there. And we have Peter Yu now picking up the disc.
So we see red flag setting up in a horizontal for their initial set play. And yesterday we saw some deep looks going to Chatha.
Yu hits Chatha on the easier round. Chatha electing to find Kurahashi. Kurahashi shooting through, finds number 6 of red flag. And Creed now with the disc to G. G back to Creed. Creed and G working it together now. Elevating Peter Yu to pull that one down. Not quite in the end zone yet. Finds Chatha. Chatha looking to shoot to the break side. And back to Yu on the upline. And red flag is fired up as you hear Chatha with the scream. Excited. Long-standing teammates between Chatha and Yu.
Yeah, absolutely. His defender was trailing him for the hole up the line cut, and his speed got him quickly to the end zone to score that point. There's lots of patience on red flag, and that just is a testament to their experience and commitment to having possession for the game, especially on offense.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of these two players, right? Chatha and Yu and Creed on the O-line, just kind of dominating the handler space as we see these three male matching players getting a lot of hands on the disc. Yeah, and on top of that, we're going to see a lot of Kurahashi touching the disc in the deep space. As we have Coach Jonathan He kind of talking amongst the line here.
So we'll see the offense from Union and see what their set play is to initiate.
A big pull from Suzuki here, fielded on by Campbell. Shooting to Etchison. Etchison finding Nepom. Back to Etchison. Etchison to Campbell. Campbell shooting deep. Suzuki almost got a touch on that. And there's going to be a call now as Hugo Lynch thought he got the goal. And we are going to get an observer ruling. Hugo Lynch catching that one in the end zone there for the score. We now have the score of 2-1 in favor of Union.
Yeah, we saw Union go out with a set play in horizontal, and they were being defended by match players. So they were just sticking to their game plan, and they were able to execute a long or a midfield huck to a receiver, and it did sail over the hands of the defensive player.
Yeah, and Suzuki just barely getting a hand on it, right? He just super close there. The vertical on Suzuki is absolutely insane, right? This player is not the tallest player on the field, but feels super tall and super massive in that deep space. Can definitely be a dangerous threat, and this is why we see him very often on that D line, because he can convert at those turns. He can create those breaks for the red flag roster.
Absolutely. We'll see if we have some zone coming down here from Union, which would be our first for the game.
So that was Emma Seaborn on the pole there for Union. And an offside is being called. So U is going to be able to take that to the brick mark. U getting ready to field the pole here. As we get started, we see Chata with an immediate cut. And Kurahashi sails overhead, but Chata there to save the day. Chata back to G. G back to Chata. And now to U. U shooting around to Chata again. Chata finding Kurahashi on the nice undercut there. Kurahashi back around to Chata. Chata trying to find something on the break side. Julie Zhao now. Chata. Chata electing to shoot deep, and there's a lot of people down there, but Braden G coming down with it. And a quick little dish pass to Mika Kurahashi for the score. Braden G absolutely elevating for that one.
Yeah, we saw Union female players doing a bit of sandwich D and switching amongst themselves. And that opened up the red flag player to do a double cut deep. And she was an eligible receiver, even though she didn't receive it for the score. It was just quick up the line and almost a handoff to the female player from red flag.
Yeah, and this is an exciting one, right? We have a lot of people here on the stands ready to watch this game. The mixed semifinals between these two teams. These are two teams that have shown their dominance throughout the tournament, right? A lot of people interested in watching from both ends of the country, right? We have Toronto Union, like you mentioned, from the eastern end. I wouldn't want to call them East Coast because they're technically not. And we have a red flag here from the West Coast. Yeah, so a lot of people excited to watch this. I'm sure there's a lot of you at home wishing that you can be on the field right now, watching this in person, as we see a big pull come in from Motts. This one sailing, lots of airtime on that one. Fielded by Caprice. Caprice. We hear a pick call as Etchison makes the catch. So we have a little bit of a conversation here. Tong saying that he had to slow down, and Etchison trying to ask if the pick did affect his ability to play defense, right? So if the pick does not affect ability, it should stay there and Tong would be able to catch up. But since Tong says it did affect, they're going to come to an agreement, and Etchison is going to hand it back off. Capri with the disc. And a block by William Vu. A great hand block there. William Vu trying to calm the team down as we have Lamba here on the under. Lamba shoots around to Tong. Tong finding Vu. Vu setting up the end zone. Tong trying to go up line. Not quite there. And a jam through the upline space to Mott. That is number 48, Zell Mott for the score there.
So that's red flag with the break, and it was generated from the hand block on the red flag player, while at the same time the two female cutters that were coming in for Union were definitely shut down and weren't eligible receivers. So red flag is playing what they also kind of pride themselves on, which is just grinding defense, hungry defense, and we saw what that earned them here.
Yeah, red flag definitely hyped up about that one. That is a big hand block by William Vu. As we see some new faces on the line here, we are seeing Philip Kragel on the line for red flag. Both Mott twins are on the line as well, so we're gonna see Zell Mott play a little double time. And as we see Miyo Shiraiwa, Edward Guo on the field as well. And for Union, we see a lot of familiar faces here. We're gonna see Jordan Ing Chen on the field. Ing Chen, a great defensive player, right? Really kind of dominating that space. And we're gonna see a big pull coming in, a high pull coming in, and a little bit of roll. So it does land at the brick mark here. We're going to see a little bit of a travel there on the around. So, yeah, Emma Seaborn there feeling the pull. We're hearing the shoot calls on the sideline, and I believe that's from red flag as we have a laying out. Little bit of a call there.
Yeah, so Union is a team that is, because they're new, they're using all their roster and are really focusing on minimizing the
Yeah, so it seems like the disc is damaged and the observers are opting to switch over the disc now. So Paniotopoulos attempting to get the layout grab there, not quite there for him, but a valiant effort nonetheless, as we see Kragel now getting ready to tap this in.
We'll be looking for Union to clean up the unforced errors, and as it was a thrower error on that one, with the wind pushing it down.
Seem like there's a little bit of a conversation here.
Uh-oh.
As
we've got an injury sub.
Mott coming off the field, holding her hand to her face. Not sure what happened there, but we did hear a little bit of a shout there. Yeah.
So we hope she recovers quickly and is able to rejoin the game. And subbing on for her is
Julie Lee coming on, number 11 from Red Flag. Union doesn't seem like they're opting to make any subs, so the disc is going to have to go back. So Samson Hoy now with the disc in his hand. Once again, going to have to go back as that call was made quite a while ago. And when we hear the backing calls from the red flag players on the sideline, as we get going here, whoa. Looking upfield, opts to shoot around. to Lee. Lee back around to Guo. Guo to Kregel. Kregel to McCullough. McCullough finds Mott. Mott back around to Kregel and a pick called.
So we're in the offensive half of the field, and red flag is looking to score here to go up on a second break.
Kregel to Hoy. Hoy looking to find something upfield, trying to jam it up line, and a little bit of contact is called. So we hear Hoy and Kregel talking on the sideline. Kregel trying to figure out what to do with this space. And we have Hoy tapping it in and a hand block, but a foul called there. So foul, no contest. Hoy will get the disc back to his hands.
Red flag is looking to play a clean, athletic, competitive game. So with these calls, it's kind of slowing down the idea with that.
Yeah, and Kregel with the disc now. Back to Hoy. Hoy around to Lee. Nice little break. Lee break again. Finding Mott in the end zone. And that is another break for Red Flag, bringing the score up to 4-2 Red Flag.
Oh,
And a
celebration.
crazy little celebration as we get
Uh-oh.
the absolutely bent disc from Red Flag. And we get a chair come in. That is a pretty insane disc from Red Flag there. We get a timeout called. Timeout called by a Union here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great timeout call.
This is what I was thinking they were going to do, or if they didn't, they needed to get on this right away just to get their mental game reset to focus back on what their goals are for this game, which is reducing any unforced errors. And so coach will be probably talking to them about just some of those things and just giving everyone a break so that they can kind of shake it off and get themselves back in this game. When you go down by 2 breaks or more, you're doing quite a bit of work to get back into it.
Yeah, we saw Union on the other end of this in their game against PBHG, right? Union started early with a few breaks up, even ended up getting a Callahan in that last game, right? But yeah, we saw PBHG kind of strike back a little bit, but what we did talk about was these kind of early breaks can be the deciding factor for your game, right? It comes down to it where the score ends up something along the lines of 15-14 or 15-13, and you start to wonder, were those 2 early breaks that happened the deciding factor for our game? And it could very well be the case here for Union.
Yeah, so we'll look for some change here and some intensity from them. Perhaps Red Flag will come down with some zone. The wind is continuing to just come across the field. So we'll see how the defensive strategies change throughout the game.
Yeah, so we have William Fu of Red Flag with the disc in his hand, just chatting with his teammates as they get ready to pull, and the observer is now signaling that it is almost time for them to put up their hands for the pull. So we see Union here, ready on the opposite end. Toes on the line. The pull comes up. It is Blady. And that one does land in, but rolls out eventually.
So we'll see if with the set play, if Red Flag will, looks like they're sticking with match defense, and maybe there'll be some sandwiching on these players.
Yeah, so the disc is gonna have to be taken from the sideline. Now we have Antoniovic back around to Prentice. To Antoniovic. Prentice once again. Finds Lee. Oh, foul called. Sorry, that was Campbell, not Antoniovic with the disc. And now we have Toronto's Just trying to see the number on the front of the jersey. Not quite clear who that is with the disc in their hands. But once we figure out, we will definitely let you know.
Yeah, so with the wind picking up across the field, we'll be seeing their throws potentially moving from the home side to the away side with
So Jamie
the
Nepom
wind.
tapping it in now. Nepom likes to shoot back to Prentice. Prentice finding Antoniovic. Antoniovic back around to Prentice. Prentice to Lee. Lee now trying to find something. And a shot deep to Antoniovic. Antoniovic not quite in, and that throw was made by Atchison. Antoniovic finding Nepom. Nepom all the way around. And that is going to be Toronto Union's number 22, Curtis Campbell with the score.
Union really wanted that point, and they've gotten it. The throw was from about the brick mark, and it landed at the receiver just prior to the end zone. So there was good mental discipline to swing the disc and to find an open receiver.
Yeah, Curtis Campbell definitely fired up after that one, right? You saw he wanted to spike it, opting against it as it was an 0 point. And yeah, Union now putting up their hands, trying to signify, letting their team know, right? We're just 1 point down now. We can bring this back. Both teams now having a conversation with their coaches. Union ready to bring this pull up. Definitely excited to see what Union brings out for their defensive looks here.
And they're focusing on not being offside, as they've already had one offside. And the consequences of a second one just brings the disc further up the field.
Yeah, and we do not want to see that happening for Union as we see this pull come through from Union. A nice pull lands right into the center of the field by the brick mark. It is fielded by G to Chata. Chata shoots nice and close to Lee. Lee electing to go deep with that one. And it is not with the intended edge. So Lee losing Oh Young a little bit there. And we're going to get this pull fielded by Jessica Gao now. Gao with the disc. Very strong handler for this Union squad. Over to you. You all the way around. She drive on a jump. And that's a Hansen in the deep space against you. And Hansen comes down with it. That is a big break for Toronto Union.
Wow. That player wanted it and read it. And with an unlucky jump in D from the red flag player, the Union player was able to catch it with a bit of a second opportunity.
We actually saw Hansen do this against PBHG once. He does a little bit of a hop, and it seems like it's not a mistake. He does a little bit of a hop to kind of throw off his defender, and then after he realizes he can just run it through, and he's done. This is the second time now we've seen him do this.
That's a cheeky defensive or offensive strategy, the early jump, the fake out.
Yeah.
So our score is now 4-4. And we have Union pulling to red flag. The wind is maybe potentially going to see a zone as it's kind of coming at an angle across the field from the home side.
Yeah, and G. Verge with that big toss upfield. Getting caught by Hansen. As we see this pull coming in from number 18, Brianna Prentice. Prentice with a nice pull, gets it to about the brick mark, fielded by G. G to Creed. Creed now electing to find Chata. Kurahashi wide open there. Great cuts on the under. Oh Young now. Oh Young probably going to shoot around and a pick call. So Creed will hand that one back to Oh Young. So Creed is going to head back to his mark.
It's an excellent undercut with a double shimmy shake.
Carpri now getting low on the mark here for Creed, knowing that Creed is the next option. So Carpri playing some good defense there, blocking off that around, and Oh Young shoots deep to Chata. Chata kind of stealing that one away, but an excellent grab by him nonetheless.
Yeah, it's awesome to have Chata as your receiver and then some insurance behind him just in case he bobbles it, but it'd be unlikely anyways.
Yeah, Chata's one of those players that, it's quite crazy. This is a guy who has it in the handles, right? He's moving it together with the handlers, and then all of a sudden, you see him in the deep space, and he's the one catching the disc. And you're thinking to yourself, didn't he just throw the reset a few throws ago?
And he did.
Right? So
And he did.
yeah, and
Two
he did
places
on
at
that
once.
point. So Chata, definitely a threat on both ends of the field. Not the type of person that you want to have to match up on, and not an easy job for sure.
Yeah, so with Union backing their players, they're trying to take away the deep looks that Red Flag has been generating, and Red Flags can adjust with stepping under, and then they're open on that side, and Union would have to adjust again. So it's partially take what you're given and partially go get what you want. Here we go.
And a pull coming through, fielded by Hansen. Hansen to Seaborn. Seaborn, laying out Jiraiya Vaja. Up to you now. Hugh to Ingchen. Ingchen, Jiraiya Vaja. And a disc, unfortunately not coming out of the hands by Jiveraja. Effectively there, so comes down to the ground.
No, it's 5-4.
The score is 5-4 in Red Flag's favor. And now Red Flag trying to find a break here as we have Wong with the disc. And Wong is fouled there on the throw around. So no contest coming in from Seaborn. Wong finding Hoy. Ryan Hoy shooting to McCullough. McCullough finding around to Hoy. Hoy finding Wong downfield. Quick little gainer there. Wong using the left hand around on the back end there. McCullough now. McCullough back around to Ryan Hoy. Ryan Hoy shoots upfield to Craigle. Craigle wide open there. A pick was called. Not sure if it was called on Craigle.
It was an excellent field switch by Red Flag to generate some new offense.
Craigle holstering that huck. And a bidding Ingchen getting that one away from Samson Hoy. Now Toronto Union on the break opportunity here. So we have Hansen picking up the disc. Hansen to Jiraiya Vaja. Shooting deep to you, and not there. A great defensive look. That was Carrie Holst getting a hand on that one.
Yeah, she went in and she read it, and she knew where she was going to contact it in the air to get that D.
And Carrie Holst doing a little bit of a hair flip there. We love to see that. She is one stylish person. If you know her, every day is a sleigh day for her. As we carry on here, Craigle with the disc, opting to shoot deep. And this one is going to hang for a long time. Love to see who comes down with it. It is going to be McCullough. McCullough coming down and shooting back around here to Jamie Jung. As we have Holst with the disc. Holst shooting to Jung. Jung now to McCullough. McCullough to Hoy. Hoy to Craigle. Hoy. Craigle asking for it. Hoyt and Kregel really working together here. And a little break throw now to Ryan Hoy. And Ryan Hoy is able to find Katie Wong in the end zone there. That is a goal for Red Flag, taking the score up to 6-4.
So Red Flag playing the small ball game that they showed us yesterday, and the stack in the end zone, being very patient until the opportunity creates itself for one person to make themselves available.
And I love to see this from Red Flag. If you're somebody who has followed Red Flag along on their journey, you might know Red Flag as a team that hucks it deep and expects one of their players to just get it. But this is not the same Red Flag that we're seeing, right? That we've seen at other tournaments such as WUC, such as the USAU circuits, right? This is a completely different composed Red Flag. A Red Flag that is able to find those arounds, able to play with their handlers, shoot these nice little dinky throws through the marks. And I love to see this kind of development from a team like Red Flag.
Yeah, they're throwing for completion. They're not throwing to be heroes.
As we see William Vu now with the disc. See if he can get another hand block off this pole. This pole hangs quite long and is going to bounce and just right at the goal line. We have Campbell fielding it. And that's Prentice with the disc, finding Campbell again. Campbell back to Prentice. Prentice. It's number 25, Etchison with the disc. And now on the opposite side of the field, we have Lynch. Lynch finding Campbell again. Carpri. Carpri finding Marcelo. Marcelo with the disc. Finding Campbell. Campbell, nice little fake there and a little inside shot there. Campbell, great gainer downfield. Lynch catches the disc, opting to hit Campbell on the around. Campbell looking for something again. Finds Prentice on the resets. Prentice to a bidding partner. Etchison able to keep his composure there. And Campbell around. Prentice now. Prentice staying calm around to Campbell. Pickled. So Campbell calling it quite quickly as we see the observer coming onto the field now, trying to figure out where the pick occurred. Campbell taps the disc back in. We're back into play here. A big find into the middle of the field. And that's Nepom with the disc. Nepom finding Prentice on the around. A good upline throw upline run from Lynch. Lynch, that throw did not stay the way he wanted it to. The wind had definitely picked up as soon as he released it. So that throw is going to be blocked.
We need Union to move their stack closer to their throwers so that the receivers are at a higher percentage for viability. Otherwise, the resets are going to have to. Otherwise, the resets are going to be continually moving them back in the field when they're hoping to move forward.
Yeah, so injury called here. So, yeah, this is the other Mott twin now coming off the field with an injury and a timeout called. So, timeout called by not sure who. We'll see if the observers do give us a sign here to let us know who called this timeout. This could perhaps be a spirit circle, actually, as both of these teams are kind of huddling around each other.
So perhaps some spirit captains have chatted on the sideline and were suggesting for improvements on the physicality of the game. But
doesn't seem like that was the case.
No, they
just ended up having a bunch of people huddling around each other. As we have Justin Bodner getting rookie and practice wrestler player Rex Ewan to tie his shoelaces for him. Ponder got some chalk on his hands now. And yeah, we're going to continue this disc.
We've got the disc coming in at, just trying to locate. Oh,
It is William Vu has it with Campbell now on the mark. So, for those of you that didn't hear, Coach Jonathan He a little upset, and Union almost getting another Callahan, a second of the day for them. William Vu shooting up,
wow.
and oh my goodness, I almost jinxed that one again. Lamba coming down with that, elevating for that disc. And a big hug downfield to a wide open Motts, but the hand comes up.
We were seeing Union back the red flag players and trying to shut that down. And so they're definitely trying to take that threat away, but it's still being challenged by the offensive red flag players. Disc is going back to the thrower, and it was a three-quarter field huck that came from the end zone line after a bit of a hospital pass that he was able to save and bring back to life.
Yeah, Marcelo, nice little block there from her. Good heads up movement to, sometimes you don't know where the disc is, but it's a good opportunity to just put your hands up and kind of get in the way of the receiver and apply that pressure. And that's exactly what she did. She had no idea where that disc was. As we see some changes here, we see Chata now stepping onto the disc, and we have Edward Guo on the field as well. And Eleanor Young, seems like a lot of substitutions might have happened between that. Yeah, not quite sure what went down there as I was looking upfield. Shiraira also on the field now as we have Chata with the disc. Chata shooting deep to a fresh-legged Lamba. Lamba has won this before, but not today. Chiverja coming down with a nice little block there.
Yeah, his acceleration at the end was incredible to get ahead and knock that disc down.
Yeah, these two tall boys fighting each other in the deep space, and they both got wheels, ladies and gentlemen. Fine specimens, getting the block there. So we have Union now with the disc, finding Chiverja. Chiverja looking to shoot deep, finds a round. Nice shot to Campbell there as you hear the crowd getting their oohs and ahs at that throw. Nice and low. Ing Chen now with the disc. Ing Chen finds Etchison. Etchison, Prentice, and contact in the middle of the field there between Mott and Nepom.
Yeah, I saw just an incidental contact and the players both tripping. The Frisbee's in the center of the field and is brought back in.
So not sure what happens there, but and as I am speaking, a little bit of a bobble there from Musalem. Pick called.
Probably a bit of a longer point than both teams are hoping, so we'll try and clean up the Frisbee.
So Vu with the disc to Guo. Guo finding Vu, bidding. Chata able to keep his legs in. Athletic move from Chata, finding Lamba. Lamba to Shiraiwa. Shiraiwa bobbles out of her hands a little bit.
Perhaps a bit of a wind gust there as we just felt it picking up, and it might have turned over the disc for her.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about those soft throws in this kind of wind. They're just not good. Ing Chen now with the disc. Great gainer. And almost a hawk look there. Opting to hit the under Musalem instead. Musalem finding Prentice. Prentice to Campbell. Campbell getting low on these throws. Etchison on the opposite side of the field. Ing Chen. Campbell. Campbell. And a shot deep is not communicated properly there. Shiverja definitely thought that that one was there. As we see Vu heading over to pick up that disc.
So this is definitely the longest point we've had, and you can see the fatigue on these athletes as they're trying to recover as the disc is brought back into play. And
a timeout called. Timeout called as we see both teams trying to figure out what to do during this long point. Red flag definitely not happy about this long point. And as a coach, Anna, what would you be saying if you were in Jonathan He's position right now?
I think I just remind the team that we want to play just some clean, simple, open undercuts. And once we're getting it past the halfway point, then look for a completion in the end zone with a midfield hack to take this point. The possessions have changed 5-6 times, and the fatigue that kicks in is what they need to battle against with their bodies, but also with their minds, just making the best choice for what's available.
Yeah. And as we see red flag getting set up here on a side stack now, we have Chata in the lane all by himself.
It's hard to miss him with the shoes.
Yeah. So, a little bit different look here. Seems like a little bit poachy, kind of a slough look here from Union, trying to stop this set play around to Guo. Guo finds Oh Young. Oh, Guo pointing to the opposite side of the field. Oh Young thought that he was requesting for the disc. And a nice throw there from Musalem. Able to find, I believe, Ing Chen in the end zone there. Yes, that is Ing Chen in the end zone. Score is now 5-6 for Union, or for Red Flag.
So Union was able to capitalize on the whoopsie poopsie from Red Flag, and the pause and reflection that Red Flag showed after they were scored on, I think, is telling that they were really not wanting an unforced error to be happening there. So I believe the same line is staying on, and they're going to go earn an offensive point here.
Yeah, and this is the same line that we've seen almost very often, right? We saw this line come on a lot during the last game we saw Red Flag play. And Union getting quite excited on the sideline now, as that was a big point for them. So we have Union with the pull.
Bit of a shorter pull. We'll see if there's a huck from the start.
So Emma Thorpe with that pull there, as we see Peter Yu with the disc. Yu finding their route, and that is a great touch by Jessica Gao. Jessica Gao, a dominant force here for Toronto Union. Yeah, she may be small, but she is quite fast, and she's been aggressive all tournament long. Hansen now with the disc. Hansen to Yu. And just a little bit too low for Hansen there to collect that one.
We saw a red flag potentially doing an immediate deep cut, but then said, no, chili.
And that is
We'll
Peter
send
Yu
Chatha
shooting deep to Chatha. Chatha trying to come down with it, but he did not get position, and a foul called. Seems like a big hit.
This is unfortunate with the potentially the release connecting with him. He's got support from the red flag players and is just taking a break.
Yeah, and that's Hansen down on the ground for Toronto Union. He might have taken a hit on the around backside from Peter Yu off that big backhand into the face.
So
we're going to see Hansen come off the field. And in his place, Campbell is going to go. Waiting to see if Red Flag elects to make any changes as well. Doesn't seem like it.
And the Frisbee will come back to where it was during the foul.
We'll see. It seems like thumbs up are being given, and Campbell's going to tap it in. So no foul was called by you, which is a great spirited play, right? Gao picking up the disc. Gao around.
So we had a sandwich D from Red Flag on the open player side.
Yeah, not the release that Marcelino wanted there. You now with the disc from G. You finding Chatha. Chatha, great read of the disc there. And Chatha finding the nice shot there to Julie Zhao. And we hear Coach Jonathan He, almost an old man himself, calling Gagan Chatha old. Pulling my leg a little bit. But yes, we have a great score there. Chatha, an excellent read. You know, that just comes with a lot of experience from a player like Chatha. We now have the score as 7-5, Red Flag.
Yeah. We've seen some more aggression from the female players on Red Flag. So they are hungry and more tenacious for the disc. So on offense, they are angling towards it. Their running path is towards the disc. So we will see if Red Flag continues with this great athletic display and how the Union women can respond. We need the Union women to be cutting harder to the disc for unders. We haven't seen a lot of separation that they're able to create when they have gone deep. So focusing on where they can make adjustments would be having some more in cuts from their females.
So we have number 11, Lee with the disc for Union. Shooting around. Prentice with the disc now. Prentice to Etchison. Back here in the hands of Nepom. A great defensive block between Hoy and Craigle there to find that disc back on D.
We had a bit of a switch play there as the Red Flag back.
And immediately shot deep to a bidding Suzuki, who is not able to get that disc as it has a hard edge on it. Craigle saw Suzuki. These two U24 teammates are both on the U24 teams. Not able to connect something there. As we have Lee with the disc, shoots to Etchison to Nepom. Nepom finds the around, to Musalem. Musalem to Lee, and Lee shoots deep for Etchinson. Etchinson tried to do the exact same thing that Suzuki was able to do, or unable to do. Hard edge, and Suzuki kind of trailing behind there, knowing that that was not an easy catch. So, yeah, not making it easy for Etchinson. Good effort, got a hand on it, but not able to come down with it. We have Kregel with the disc now. To Suzuki. Suzuki, nice break around as there is a call. Jamie Jung with the disc in her hand. Sorry, that's Hoi with the disc, not Suzuki. Hoi with the disc on the around. Jung with it now.
Red Flag's doing a good job with their cutters staying shallow and patient until they're past the halfway point.
You say that, Anna, but we just saw a sprinting Suzuki go deep. As Suzuki is now going to be coming all the way back under due to a pick call.
Perhaps he shouldn't have cut deep.
So now Observer making sure that they have the right count. So it is going to be coming in at stall 1. Jung with the disc. Jung finding a bidding Suzuki. Suzuki able to keep that.
It was a great athletic catch.
Yeah. So a conversation between the two. So Suzuki, we did have great perspective here as it was directly in front of us. Suzuki did have it in a clap catch position in his hand the entire time. So yes, a little. Oh wow! And as I am saying that, an amazing bid there. Wow!
She got horizontal.
Connie Zhang there.
Oh, and a second
And another
one.
bid. 3 bids in a row.
These
A
girls,
4 red flag. That was Mott there. And a toss upfield to Suzuki. Nice touch there. Great defensive work by Netpom to slow down that momentum that red flag had.
yeah, that was a great read, and she definitely was able to make that play.
And now Netpom, once again, great read on that disc. Way to stay patient. Netpom shooting around to Musalem. Musalem not able to reel it in that time around. Little small bid as we see the Samson Hoy of Red Flag walking up to the disc. Hoy
Ouch.
shooting around.
Ouch.
And a goal scored. Philip Kregel to Hoy. A good effort there from Lee, attempting to get the block. He did come down, holding his knee, so I hope he is okay. Lee, a very important, vital player to this Union roster, showing a lot of athleticism there on the attempted foot block. So we have a red flag roster picking each other up there. And that is going to be halftime for us.
What a great game. Our score check is
8-5.
8-5. Our vibe check is
Great.
high.
Excellent. Yippee!
Our smoke check is low. I'm not tasting
It's not too
it.
bad. Getting a little musty now.
The crowd
as-
check is looking beautiful.
So as we say that, we are going to be taking a break here. Make sure that we're going to get drinking lots of water. You at home should be drinking water too. We will be back shortly. All right, welcome back, Ultimate fans. We are here once again at the Newton Athletic Park here, ready to bring you back the second half of Red Flag versus Toronto Union. Score is currently 5-8 in Red Flag's favor. Just like to start off the half by thanking our current sponsors, BE Ultimate. BE Ultimate, get all your Ultimate apparel needs right there at the tent that is across the field from us, or head online to beultimate.com to get all the Ultimate clothing that you need and all the swag and jerseys that your team could possibly need. And the second sponsor of this tournament, Discraft, bringing us that little piece of plastic that you do love. The most important piece to our game, the game discs and the Frisbees that you use. So Discraft providing us with all the game discs for this tournament. Thank you, Discraft. We will try to make sure we don't abuse your discs too hard. As we get this game coming back along, we have a little bit of a cheer from Red Flag. So, score 8-3. We have Union starting off on the pole here. Number 71, Brian Yu, with the disc in his hand. Just waiting for the observers to start off the game. We are just a few minutes or a few seconds off of game start time. Making sure that we start off on the right time. And here comes the pull. That is a big pull from you. And this one just going to land right outside of the end zone. Chatha with the disc, fielded by you. Chatha hits a shot to Creed. And you now with the disc. Chatha. Chatha hucks it deep to a running Julie Zhao, but a great bid once again. None other than Jessica Gao in that space. A clean bid to get that block. That is so impressive. Jessica Gao able to do that time and time again. We love to see that sort of energy that she has.
I wish I had that energy.
Definitely. And throw into traffic there. So a call now happening. That was Marcelo's disc, I believe.
So the two teams probably got some halftime talks, just talking about cleaning up the game with some of the unforced errors and letting offense score and defense turn it over to win the game.
Yeah, so Marcelino with the disc in her hand. Not sure what the call was. Perhaps a contact call. So disc is going to go back to Marcelino's hands. Okay. So observers showing that stall count is coming in at 0. Marcelino trying to find something. Finds Ing Chen. Ing Chen around to you. Back to Ing Chen. Ing Chen, a nice little break around. And that is 2 Union players making the bid. As we see a Giverja on the ground there. Kind of toying around with his ankle.
He knows Chatha's a deep threat, so he wants to make sure he's ready to break deep if Chatha initiates that.
Yeah, like you said, Chatha, a deep threat. Chatha trying to figure out with the observers what happened. Signaling kind of a, I don't know what happened, which is fair. Giverja. So this disc is probably going to come back to... Oh, no, it seems like the disc is going to stay there. So that call, yeah, not affecting the play really. So, yeah, through the 2 bidding Union players, No one able to come down with it, but it will stay where it is. Creed picking up the disc. Oh, and a miscommunication between Creed and you. As we see you picking up the disc for Union. Oh, nice break around Chiverja. Chiverja to Gao. Gao finding you. You shoots up to Marcelino. Marcelino, great cut by Giverja against Gaganchata. Not easy to do. Giverja around to you. You finding a wide open Gao. Gao elevating for that disc. And Gao inside shot, but that is Peter Yu getting a layout block there, reading that disc perfectly to get it first. And a little bit of a missed throw there. Yu not happy about that one. Did not end up out of his head as he intended. Gao picking up the disc. Gao really a centerpiece to this Union O-line. And Gao shooting high as I say that, little caster curse, but a bobble.
Wow.
And that is a bidding Sarah Burke to make that grab.
Wow.
Lee is going to be upset at herself for that one.
Yeah, there's probably a few players having some internal talk of what they could take back if they would take it back.
For any of you juniors watching at home right now, this is why your coach is constantly yelling at you to catch your Ds, right? So Julie Lee definitely going to know how that one stings, and hopefully she can shrug it off quite quickly. But that was a great bid by Sarah Burke once again to reel that one in.
So we are at 8-6.
8-6 in Red Flag's favor. That is actually a break, I believe, for the Toronto Union. So a big break for the Union, much needed. Coach Jonathan He giving his players on the line some chalk, making sure that their hands are nice and dry so they can get the best grip possible on the disc. And hands coming up from Red Flag as we see a pull. Number 42 there, Carpri with a pull. And you opting to field that one really low, quite scary there, but composed as Hoy with the disc. To Chatha. Chatha shooting deep. Finding the elevating Kurahashi, but Oh Young just snags that one right over their heads. G with the disc. G, great double fake. Ellen Oh Young reeling that one in. And that is a quick point for Red Flag.
That was perfect chili with the what could have been a frantic toss, but they saw their ladies were open and the women are scoring the.
So score is now 6-9 for Red Flag.
So have you ever had the chalk to play with, and do you think it does improve because you got the chalk and now we've got the gloves, and I've been seeing more of the chalk at this tournament than I've seen before.
So I think the chalk is definitely something newer that's coming around, right? We've been seeing players use it for tournaments more recently now, and I would definitely opt to use the chalk over gloves. I feel like gloves do affect my ability to play, and I remember a coach of mine when I was a young junior getting into the sport, I asked him, hey, do you think gloves are a good idea? And he said that gloves are for, let me say it nicely, not the best players. And I mean, we see a couple of these great players on Red Flag wearing gloves. We see Edward Guo, Kevin Tong, not trying to call them out, but that is what my coach told me a long time ago, so I've always opted to stay with my bare hands. Big pull coming in from Mott's. This pole going to just drop right before the brick line, and it stopped. Fielded. Gao with the disc. Gao finding you there. Really tight shot. Ing Chen now with a big gainer under. Wow, Ing Chen finding Gao all the way around. That's a big break around the field. Marcelino with the disc. And off the hands of Campbell, but Campbell keeping it in. Just, not quite in. Just barely out. As we see a McCullough running deep. Ing Chen there in the vicinity. Slowing things down. Vu with the disc. Hitting the around to Motts. A pick called. So these kind of slowdowns here, right? They do tend to favor the defense, but Red Flag very, very good at communicating between each other. And as I say that, Mott to Mott, a bid and calling Mott to grab that disc, bring it down. Tong with the disc, and Vu begging for the disc as Tong kind of looked him off there. Vu shooting deep, and who else in the area but Brayden McCall? Not in. Trying to find something around. Finds Vu. Vu kind of milking that one all the way back to the opposite side of the field. And a high release backhand over the heads of Campbell. Brayden McCullough.
Yeah, that shows some confidence and some cheekiness from the player to both milk it and to toss it up for the end zone score.
Yeah, Brayden McCall, great composure there. Not only sprinting downfield to get that amazing grab initially, but finding Vu on the back end, right? And then Vu able to give it to McCullough, going from one end of the end zone to the opposite for the score. Nice little cheeky over-the-top pass there.
So the turf that the athletes are playing on can sometimes be pretty unforgiving when a player goes in for a baseball slide there. So he'll be brushing off his leg and looking to clean that up after the game.
Yeah. So the score is now 6-10 in Red Flag's favor. 6-10 as we see here. Red Flag ready to put up the pull. It is going to be Kerry Holst with the disc. Kerry, a pull lands just right past half, and it's going to be picked up. That is Prentice with the disc. Prentice trying to find something. Finds Nepom on the side. Nepom, nice fake. Hitting Cam. Sorry, Carpri. Carpri finding the McFarland. McFarland with the disc. Shooting around. That's Antoniovic with the disc. Antoniovic hitting Carpri once again. Carpri finding Prentice. And Prentice all the way around to Carpri. Carpri chasing that one down. And that is going to be a quick toss out of the hands of Lee. And McFarland was not able to come down with that one. So just kind of bobbled out of her hands. And Ryan Hoy with a big fake upfield, electing to hit Philip Kragel. Ryan Hoy with the disc once again. Ryan Hoy down called. Ryan Hoy had to get a quick release out, but a down called as Kragel was going up the line. So
the first call will be followed through with, and yeah,
so it's going to be contested on the down call, as we saw the fist bumping by our observer on the far end. So down call is going to stand. Okay, so no contest. The disc is going to stay there, and observer is going to allow Carpri to tap it in. Okay, so disc is tapped in, so game is back to live.
It's great integrity by the red flag player.
Yeah, we have Lee picking up the disc. So Lee finds Prentice. Prentice trying to punch something into the end zone. Not quite there. Nepom. Nepom back to Prentice. Prentice on the break side. To Lee. Lee finding Musalem. Musalem. Ooh, a bidding. I believe that is a beer Lamba on the bid there. A nice clean bid to get that disc back in the hands of Red Flag. And Lamba, after getting the D, sprinting deep, a amazing throw by Ryan Hoy.
No mark.
So Lamba with no mark right now, trying to find something. There it is to Kregel. Lamba gets it back on the around. Kregel once again. Kregel, inside shot. Grabbed by Jamie Jung. And Jamie Jung a little bit early there. Throw not really what she wanted. And it is going to get blocked. Not sure who blocked that one. But Union player did get their hands in the way. I believe that was McFarland who got their hands in the way. And a timeout called by Union.
Yeah, we're having another point where the players are getting a water break and a brain break. We've had a couple turns of possession from end zone to end zone. And so these athletes are, just sprinting their hearts out to see who can finish in the end zone.
Okay, and I don't want to bring a little bit of caster curse here, but the last time we did see this tiring a timeout like this after both teams were tired, a long point. What happened, Anna? Do you remember?
Tell me.
Red Flag had the disc, and they turned it after 2 throws. So, hopefully, we can see Union figure something out here that's different than what Red Flag was able to do coming out of their timeouts. And let's see if Union sets something up differently here, or if Red Flag comes out with a, maybe zony look or something kind of slough-esque to shut down Union's set play here.
Yeah, we've seen the Red Flag sandwich, and they know how to make a sandwich.
Red Flag sandwich. So, yeah, we're seeing backing defense now. Great cut from Carpri. Carpri gets it on the break side. Carpri shooting deep. And Lamba with that closing speed just gets position way before Antoniovic can even get there. Lamba using his young legs, and we hear the triple T cheer coming in from Flag as we have Ryan Hoy with the disc. Hoy giving a couple fakes. Hoy, nice shot there. Quick toss to Kregel. Kregel finding Lamba. Lamba. Laser downfield to Julie Lee. Lee to Kregel. And timeout called. So,
where are we at for our timeouts?
Not quite sure how many timeouts each player had, or each team should have 2 timeouts per half. Not sure what kind of timeouts we're at. I think this is Red Flag's first timeout of the half.
Yeah.
But I just jinxed it. I said Union is going to have 2 touches on the disc off their timeout call. And now let's see if Red Flag is able to punch this one in. Not 100% sure. Personally, I know I don't like this timeout call. I know there's a couple other people who don't like this timeout call, but score 6-10 in Red Flag's favor. So even if Red Flag were to kind of pass this one back off to Union, they still do have a comfortable lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the final games, the soft cap, the hard cap?
Soft cap. We do not have a hard cap for these final games. So soft cap. So when the horn does blow, the score is going to be +1 of the score to be played. So if the horn were to blow right now, the score is 10-10. 6. We would finish the point right now. And if red flag were to score, we would play a game to 12. And you actually do need to finish to a score of 12. You can't run down the clock, unfortunately. It's something that we have seen in past tournaments where running down the clock is a strategy, calling those timeouts, but not at this tournament. And a violation called as we tap it in.
Call on call.
So, Craigle with the disc, finding Ryan Hoy on the around. Ryan Hoy back to Craigle, trying to get it on that open space. There it is. Ryan Hoy, Craigle. Hoy and Craigle working really, really effectively together here. Hoy all the way back using that negative space. Hoy shoots around Julie Lee. Great toss there by Hoy. Pick called. Pick called as Lampo was trying to make his cut under from Antoniovic.
And the vertical offense kind of tends to have quite a few picks called, as we've seen for this whole game.
So the throw from Lee, not really connecting how she wanted it to. Lee, a very experienced thrower. Unable to connect that one, though. Lee, Antoniovic. Antoniovic finding Musalem. Nice little space in the middle. McFarland, wide open shot from Musalem. And that is another break for Toronto Union.
Yeah, we saw Toronto Union look off their first initial cut, and the second cut came in for the up the line throw, and the Union player had enough separation, was gone deep, and the throw was excellent, that she just had to sprint onto it, and that was a successful point for Union, and it's good for them to stay in the game and to keep it within 3 points.
Yeah, so Toronto Union with that score, bringing their score up to 7-10. Red flag with the lead still, but Union quite happy with that one. That is a great point for them. Not 100% sure if that was a break, actually, now that I think about it. It was a long point, so I do tend to forget who was the initial pull. But nevertheless, a much-needed point for the Union.
I think both teams will be looking for some faster points here that are taking less energy from their legs. So having some patient offense to clean, open offensive cuts.
Yeah, a big pull there from Giverja. And that one is going to stay in, fielded by you. You to Creed now. Creed trying to find something in the deep space. Kurahashi was there, but Creed didn't like it. You, wide open space there to Chata. Chata trying to find something. Nobody's there. He's getting at a high stall count, but Creed there. Call.
There's a bit of a groan coming out of the two players who were both ready to sprint and battle it out.
Deep space, yeah. Creed in that space there. So Giverja calling a push off a little bit there between the marks. So we're just now being informed that we are 1 minute away from our horn. So we're getting close to the end of the game. Seeing a little bit of a smile here from Red Flag's captain and leader, Edward Guo, standing in front of us as we have the disc back to Chata. Stall coming in at 6, I believe, is what the player said there, Ing Chen. So Creed with the disc. Creed shoots all the way around to you. You back to Creed. Creed gets absolutely hand blocked by Giverja. An excellent block there. Extending his arm out, and there's the horn, ladies and gentlemen. But that is not the end of the game. So, Hanson, looking at the disc, it is super warped after that block. So Hansen shooting around. Gao with the disc. Gao finding a tight shot there to Lynch. Lynch. Hansen now. Giverja to Lynch once again. Hansen. Hansen trying to see what he can find in the end zone. And that's Ing Chen with the disc. Ing Chen, nice little dish there to Hansen. Leading pass. And Hansen gets blocked off by Braden G.
Almost looked like he wasn't expecting it himself, but knew to knock it down.
Yeah, G definitely coming out of nowhere there to get that block, as he is now able to make the cut for the score. Kurahashi in the end zone, and G hyping himself up there after that lovely throw to a sprinting Mika Kurahashi. That is the kind of player that you want to have in the end zone.
Score is 11-7, and so it'll be a game to 13.
Yes, so sorry, we're going to be playing a game to 12.
12.
As score is 11-7. So we add 1 to the current score, the current highest score now. So Union kind of in a tight spot, as we like to say. Red flag. This is their game to lose, definitely.
Yeah, and that was a great decision to have the huck come from the halfway point. We saw it right in front of us, and with the wind still being gusty and unpredictable, the halfway point was a great place to release it to the cutter, who had great separation.
So I love the energy from the Union sideline. They are not giving up here. You can see them getting their O chance, and we're getting the D chance from Red Flag. Suzuki with the pull. It's going to stay in bounds. Fielded by Campbell. Campbell to Prentice. Prentice back around there. Antoniovic with the disc and a block by Samson Hoy. Samson Hoy trying to get a call being made on the field. So what are the odds that we score this? Jonathan He, I'm going to give you a 50-50, Jonathan. We're going to toss it up in the air, and it's going to be all 14 members of the field under the disc.
Bit of a deja vu to yesterday's game. This is what we were in.
We do have a composed line of handlers on this one here. I mean, I'm sure you're comfortable with Samson Hoy picking it up.
So we're looking for a different outcome. We've got different handles on the disc and looking to close out this game. Players have had quite a few calls this game, so one sought to just take a break and sit down.
So as we see, Hoy electing to have his set play set up. Hoy with the disc. Tong with the initiating cut. Looked off to Suzuki. Suzuki back around, and it is going to be Tong to finish off this game.
That is a zigzag, cut to the side, cut to the opposite side, and back again to complete the point.
A call on the field, as I was just about to say. Not sure what happened there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have your Canadian Ultimate Champions, Red Flag, coming out of British Columbia, taking home the gold today in the mixed finals. Congratulations to Red Flag. Toronto Union taking home the silver medal. A great game here. stay with us here as we have our next game. The Open Finals coming up. That Open Finals is going to be Toronto Go versus Manitoba's General Strike. Thank you, everyone.